Guys, and welcome back to another video. My name's Destiny. I do book things here, and today we're going to talk about my June TBR. I'm really excited for June. I have a couple library books on this list, and I have two rereads that I want to get done. Both of them I've never reread before, so I'm really excited for that. Let's first, as I'm looking at my list, let's first start with my rereads because they're on top. So the first reread I want to do this month is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a cult classic. I absolutely love this series. This came out in 2015. I have read House of Earth and Blood. I've read House of Sky and Breath. I have read all of The Throne of Glass, and I've read this entire series. The only thing is, I did not own this book. So I lent my annotated copy of A Court of Thorns and Roses out to someone, and I had messaged them. I have asked for it back. I see them around town, and I mention it, and I never got my copy back. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought myself another copy, and I get to re-annotate. I'm kind of excited for it. So I want to reread it this month because I can't remember. I know I've never reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I don't think I've ever reread Court of Mist and Fury or Court of Wings and Ruin. So I'm excited to reread this series starting in June. I'm starting with I'm starting with Aquitar, and then in July I want to read A Court of Mist and Fury, and then come August I will be on A Court of Wings and Ruin. The next reread I want to do is These Witches Don't Burn by Elizabeth Sterling. That name sounds real familiar, like I've read something from her recently. I don't know what it could be though. Quite interesting. I really feel like I've finished something by her recently. Okay. This one I read a while back ago. And I really enjoyed it. I remember loving it. And I remember that I finished it pretty quickly with not very many annotations in it. And I remember I wanted the second one. That's all I don't remember much of the plot or the main characters or anything. And since then I have bought the second one and I never read it. And since I remember such little details from this one, I want to reread it. Physically reading books has not been my friend lately. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks instead of physically reading. So I'm really trying to get back into the habit of it. And there will be a whole video coming out in June about that, which is reading 20 minutes a day. And whether it changed or not, I'm hoping to start filming that tonight. But I want to reread this and then go on to the second one in July, hopefully. And like read a couple pages of it every night. Next, let's go on with books that are on my actual shelves, and that is The Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. This one is the last in the Vampire Academy series. This particular book came out in, I want to say 2010. And I never read this series. And after I finished, I got to one part in the last one, and I did not think I was going to finish them. I really didn't. Once I got to the fifth one, I was like, I'm kind of over this. I know what happens. I don't think I want to finish it. And then the thing happened, and I'm not saying what it was because I don't want to spoil it in case somebody who's watching this who's never read these decides to go into it. That happens. They blame Rose, and now I want to know, did she do it? Who did it? Why did they do it? And why did we feel like that was needed? Explain that to me. So I have it, and I want to get it done. It should be a quick and easy read since it is a YA from the early 2000s. Usually I eat them up. Next is one that honestly I don't know what it's about. I bought it on Thrift Books because it was $1, and now I want to see, do I really want it on my shelves? Am I still interested? And that is Tarot by Marissa Kinnerson. There is no ID in there. As you can see, I don't have the dust cover on it, so I don't even know what it's about. I can't give you a synopsis, and I apologize. I am interested in reading it. I do want to read it. It's just, I don't I don't know what it's currently about. Next is one that I am in the middle of reading her newest, well, semi-newest release, or her newest series, which is Belladonna, and that is Adeline Grace is the author, and this is All the Stars Have Teeth. I've heard so many good reviews about this, and that's why I bought it in the first place. And this has to do with mermaids and a pirate and a princess. It's giving me Little Mermaid vibes. It says she will reign as a princess of the island kingdom Visidea. Amora has spent her entire life training to be a high emancier, the master of souls. The rest of the realm can choose their magic, but for her, it has never been a choice. To secure her place as heir to the throne, she must prove her mastery of the monarch's dangerous soul magic. I'm interested and I want to read it. If her writing's like anything like it is in Belladonna, I'm going to absolutely love this. Next is actually two more very backlisted books. The first one is Bite Club by Rachel Kane. So this is the no, I'm starting to think maybe this is not the one. I am on this one. I didn't finish. That's what this is. Okay. This is the Morganville Vampire series. I love this series. If you don't know, I'm from Texas. And so reading about Morganville makes my heart happy because it's set in Texas. And usually any book set in Texas, I want to read. And so I love the first of the series so much. And then I want to say I got to book like 8 and kind of got bombarded. I just got bored because it felt like the same thing over and over again. And if you decide to binge the series, it's a lot of repetitiveness, especially when you get to these books because they are kind of standalones. They don't follow the original storyline. And so she felt the need, and I remember in this one in particular, in the very beginning of it, she repeats herself. Like, she tries to introduce you to all the characters again. Like, you picked this up as a standalone, and that really annoyed me. Now that I have had such time away from this series and away from this world, and I'm going back in, and I'm not going to reread the first, 9 to get here, I don't think that's going to bother me. Because I've had such time away from it that I'm going to need that reminder. So, I'm excited to get into this one. This one follows, if you've never heard this series, this follows Claire. Claire is going to college in Morganville, and Morganville has vampires. And she ends up moving into I'm trying to think, the house has a name. Anyway, she ends up moving into a house with 3 other roommates. She is young for her age, going to college. She, I want to say she's like 16, 17 when she gets into college. So she's she's not quite college age yet. She is still a teenager. And she ends up moving in the house with the 3 roommates. And shit starts to explode. She figures out vampires are real and ends up working for Merlin, who is a crazy vampire who invents shit. And Merlin's inventions kind of is where all the problems lie. Sometimes I feel like if they murdered him, it would fix a lot of things, but I digress. The back of it says, after discovering that vampires populate Morganville and surviving a number of adventures with her new night-dwelling friends, college student Claire Danvers has come to realize that for the most part, the undead just want to live their lives. But someone wants to get them ready to rumble. There's a new extreme sport being broadcast over the internet, bare-knuckle fighting, pitting captive vampires against one another, or worse, against humans. Tracking the out-of-town signal leads Claire, accompanied by a loyal group of friends and frenemies, to discover that what started as an online brawl is soon to threaten everyone in Morganville, and if they want to survive, they'll have to do a lot more than fight. So in this little town, the secret of vampires has been kept because if you cross the city limits out of Morganville, it wipes your memory of vampires altogether. They try to keep them on the down low where you don't know, but if you walk out with that knowledge, it wipes your memory and you forget about it. There is, like I said, a college in this town, so of course it's, as college kids, we donate blood for money, and that's kind of what happens here. I'm excited to get into this. And then lastly is a really little bitty short one, and I want to pick it up because I love this series again, and just felt like it was repeating itself, and so I put it down. And that is The Calling by Kate Tinnerman. I could be saying her last name wrong. These are like short little books, and I want to say they're from either really early 2000s or the 90s. 2001 was when this one came out. This is halfway through the series, so there's 14 in this series, and these books are less than 200 pages. Like, it shouldn't take me but a day to read. These follow Morgan. She is going about her normal life until she meets Cam. She falls head over heels and it has a huge crush on Cam. Cam starts teaching his fellow kids at school. They start a small coven. They start learning about Wicca, and Morgan comes to find out in the first book that she is a witch. Her mother was a witch, and she's adopted. Her family never told her, and crap starts happening. And at this point, her life has really been turned on its head, and she is still going through it. So I'm excited to see where this series takes me. If I finish this one and feel a need to go on the next one, I probably will, because they are so short. I don't even know if they have an audiobook. I've never tried. I've always physically read them, and so it's just a quick little read. And then lastly, I have three library books I want to get to. They were on my list last month, and I want to try to get them done. The first one is The Agathas by Kathleen Gosson and Liz Lawson. This is a cozy mystery. It's a teen whodunit. And basically the popular guy's girlfriends keep going missing. And one found dead. They accuse him, and Nosy Miss Know-It-All puts her nose in it to try to figure out who really did it. Next is Escaping Houdini by Carrie Montescallo. This is the third in the Escaping Jack the Ripper series. I really thought I wasn't going to continue with this series. If you have seen that vlog, when I finished Hunting Prince Dracula, I did not think I was going to go on until the epilogue. And when I hit the epilogue, I was like, okay, I think I want the next one. I'm sorry, you can hear my kiddo. I didn't think it was going to go on, but then I got the epilogue, and I wanted the next one, so here we are. This one says, beware midnight bargains. If you're not careful, you might lose your life, your very soul, to this magic traveling show. Ooh. At the end of the last one, we know that Audrey and Thomas are... I don't want to give spoilers away. Audrey and Thomas find out that they're fixing to have to go to America to help solve a new murder. And her uncle is going with them. And that's where we get this one. And then lastly, on my TBR for this month, and lastly that I want to try to get done, is All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and Christine Lim Harmon. This one is the sequel to All of Us Villains. Yes, this one is about a family, or a little village where they have high magic. The whole world thought high magic was extinct, that it no longer exists because no one seems to be able to have it. There's 7 families who are still in control of some high magic, and every so many years they have to send a teenager in to battle for the death, and whoever walks out, only one may survive, whoever walks out wins. And their family control the high magic until the next time around. In the first one, we get introduced to all 7 characters. They start the game and shit starts going awry because they decide to try to dismantle the games. And now here in the second one, we're going to see exactly what happened. This is only a duology, so this is the last one in the series. I'm excited to get into it. I really did enjoy the first one. So yeah, that's the next on my list. And that's everything that I'm hoping to read this month. Like I said, I'm trying to get more physically read. I think this month I have finished one completely. Maybe not. I'd have to check. I think I finished one or two physically. And then Belladonna, I have maybe a little over 100 pages left. And then I'm also reading The Rooster Bar with my best friend. And we're taking it pretty slow. But I think we have like 200 left in it. So not a lot left at all for anything. So I'm excited for the progress I've made this month. And I'm excited to get into each one of these. Are there any on this list that you're hoping to read? Or what is your top book to finish in June? I would love to know, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys.